Hello friends, it is Stacia and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a little bit of a quick video, only because I'm not entirely sure what to say for a lot of these books, but based on the title, this is my 12 and 12 reading challenge for the year 2023. So if you don't know what the 12 and 12 challenge is, a lot of people do it a whole bunch of different ways. The way I do it is I ask my friends either on Discord or I'll post on my story on Instagram, and I'll ask for books you see on my shelves that you think I should read. So basically I just post all my unread books, and I'm like, hey, if you want to, you can pick a book for me, and it goes into the challenge. So anyone can give me a book whenever I post that on my story. And yeah, so I have 12 books here that have been chosen by various people. They're pretty different. Like, there's quite a range here in genres. So I will say that the order that I talk about these books is not the order that I'm going to be reading them. I'm planning on doing one 12 and 12 book a month. Hopefully that goes well. I'm thinking of either vlogging it or doing like a sit down sort of like review where I go through like characters, plot, overall rating, and things like that. So let me know what you guys prefer, whether you prefer like an actual reading vlog or like a sit down review sort of styled video. But yes, so without further ado, we'll just jump into these 12 books. So the first book that I have here is Of Fire and Stars. This book has been mentioned a couple times because this was on a challenge last year. I believe it was on my 22 books to read in 2022, and I didn't read it, obviously, because it's back on another challenge. So I am determined to read this. Not entirely sure what this is about. I know it is a YA fantasy, female sort of romance. I think maybe forced proximity, and that's about all I could tell you. So I'm not entirely sure what this is about. I believe it is a duology, so I think there is a second book after this. So I'll need to look into reviews and see if this ends on a cliffhanger and whether or not I'll need to get book 2 right away. But yeah, so this is the first book. The next book I have is Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This is a romance in like a cooking show, I believe. One of our characters seems to be divorced, so she's finally a contestant on a cooking show and kind of has to stay there. And then we have another person who is also in the cooking show as a contestant, just came out as non-binary. So yeah, we'll need to see what actually happens. I've actually heard great things about this book, so I am excited to get to this one. Then we have a very popular one. This was on a lot of people's favorite books in 2022, and that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure if this is my cup of tea, and I'm not sure I know much about it. I just know that it's friends to lovers, possibly. I know there's like a video game aspect, and that's about all I know about this one. I've heard good things. I've heard like it's okay, so there's very much like differing opinions on this, but for the most part it's very well loved, so I am excited to get to it. The next book I have is You Say It First. This is a YA book. That makes me slightly nervous because I haven't been clinging to YA for a while, so I'm wondering if, you know, this will hit a mark for me. But it seems like maybe like an opposites attract story. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, so we'll need to figure it out together. I know it's just a YA romance, and that's about all I can say. Next, we have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This is a thriller. And it says, a black father, a white father, 2 dead sons, a quest for revenge and redemption. I believe both of their sons obviously end up dead somehow, so I think they kind of team up to kind of get to the bottom of things, but I heard that it's a very layered story, so I am excited to read this one. Then we have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This has also been on multiple TBRs, multiple challenges, but it's fine. So this book essentially follows a wedding where all the guests get invited to a remote island, and once they're there for like the wedding, people kind of just start dying, and they're not entirely sure why. They're not entirely sure what's going on, but yeah, I've heard great things, so we'll need to see. And I also believe that it's told from like everyone's point of view, so I'm not sure how that's going to go over for me and whether or not I'll remember everyone, but I heard it's a good one, so we'll see how this goes. Next, I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care. So this is a female romance, and so I think Delilah goes back to this small town, or like the town where she grew up in, for her sister, it seems, to photograph her sister's wedding. And while she's there, she kind of runs into someone, and I'm not sure how sparks fly, but eventually they do because it's a romance. I've heard amazing things about this book and the second book. That's all I know. But I've heard good things, and I am excited. I do need to read more female, so I'm excited to see what I think about this one. Next, we have The Enigma of Room 622, and this is a like murder mystery sort of whodunit that takes place in a hotel. So there's a longly unsolved murder in room 622, but a fellow guests go undercover to kind of see what's going on, and things start to arise. The next book I have is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I have no idea what this book is about. I really don't, but I've heard amazing things, and I want to read it. It's such a big book for a romance though. So all it says is Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. So I guess a bride is on the run from her fiance and runs into this Knox guy, and I guess we'll see what happens from there. Next, I have When Sparks Fly by Helena Hunting. Not entirely sure what this is about either. I know that it is a romance, obviously, and it is friends to lovers. That's about all I can say. It seems like one has a sort of playboy reputation. So we'll need to see how they end up in a situation where they become friends to lovers. I feel like it's a situation where he's like a playboy because he kind of low-key always loved his friend but didn't want to say anything about it. So I think maybe that's potential. Then we have Dating Dr. Dill. So this is a romance. I don't know. So it seems, I'm not actually sure about what this one is about. I think maybe, I feel like I've seen somewhere that this is a reverse Grump Sunshine. So the male is the sunshine, I believe. I could be completely wrong, but that's about all I could tell you about this. I don't really know much, but I've seen good things, so I'm hopeful. And the last book on my 12 and 12 challenge is Faking with Benefits by Lily Gold. This is a reverse harem situation. So our main character, Layla, has never had a boyfriend, but she has 3 best friends who are willing to kind of show her the ropes. There's Zach, a huge ex-rugby player, Josh, the sweet boy next door, and Luke, the silver-haired divorcee, who happens to be my old professor. So there's seems like there's a little bit of everything going on here with the age gap and the sim and roll, ex-sports. So yes, I heard that this one is great. I know that she's coming out with another one soon like this. I don't know if it's like a spin-off or anything like that, but the cover looks the same. Like, it's the same aesthetic, but it could just be her aesthetic, so I don't know. But yeah, so I'm excited for all of the fake dating, friends with benefits, reverse harem sort of vibes. Alright, so really quick video, like I said, but those are the 12 books that I plan on reading this year for my 12 and 12 challenge. Let me know again whether or not you prefer reading vlogs or a sit-down review for each of these books. I would like to share my experience with these books one way or another with you guys. But yeah, so if you've read any of these, think I need to prioritize any of them, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Overall, I'm super excited for all of my choices. So we'll see how the year goes, and hopefully at the end of the year, I can be successful in completing all 12. Last year, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I did the 22 books I want to read in 2022. I've decided this year that I don't want to overcommit myself. So I am only doing the 12 and 12 challenge, and I'm not going to be doing the 23 books I want to read in 2023. This just helps me to not be overwhelmed. It's one challenge that I think is very manageable instead of piling on a whole nother 23 books. So this will be the only challenge that I'm doing throughout the whole year. I hope you guys understand. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there in case that is a video you were looking out for, because I know I did it last year. But yes, that is all from me. So you can like, comment, and subscribe down below if you'd like. All of my socials, follow me anywhere else, are in the description as always. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!